Okay, let's unpack this. If you have been watching Fallout Season 2, you know that feeling, that waiting for the other shoe to drop feeling.
Oh, yeah.
You're watching all the chaos, the vaults, the war on the surface, and you're just constantly thinking, okay, but who is actually pulling the levers? You know?
Right. Who's the real big bad?
Well, if you've just finished episode 6, the other player, you do not have to wonder anymore.
No, you definitely don't. The curtain didn't just get pulled back in this hour. It was like ripped off the rod and then lit on fire.
It's a fundamental shift in the whole show. And look, for this deep dive, we have a massive stack of sources. We're pulling from these really detailed breakdowns by Collider and Screen Rant, some incredibly deep lore threads from the Fallout subreddit, connecting us back to the old school games.
And some great critical reviews from Fangirlish and Games Radar too.
Exactly. And the consensus is that the scope of the show just got a lot bigger.
Completely. Because up until now, we've been operating under this assumption that Vault-Tec is the top of the food chain. We thought they were the ultimate corporate entity managing the apocalypse.
Right.
But this episode just tells us, no, there's something above them.
We are moving from the managers to the architects.
That is a perfect way to put it. We aren't just looking at who survived the end of the world. We're looking at the people who orchestrated it to make sure they stayed on top.
So our mission here is to map out this new hierarchy. We need to figure out who is actually controlling the chaos, because the who involves some factions that old school fans are going to lose their minds over.
For sure.
We've got a casting reveal that I honestly can't believe they pulled off, a physiological twist with Hank MacLean's neck, of all places.
Yeah, that was wild.
A philosophical debate about free will that basically breaks Lucy's character. It's a heavy, dense hour of television.
It really is.
So let's start with the visceral stuff first. The cool factor. Before we get to the philosophy, we have to talk about the Ghoul.
Cooper Howard.
When we last saw him, he was in a nightmare, impaled on a spike in Freeside. And the sources all point out, this isn't just physical pain, it's an existential threat. He's losing his mind.
Right, he is going feral. And for anyone new to the lore, that's the tragic fate of all ghouls. They're humans, mutated by radiation, they live forever, but without a specific drug, their brain just rots away. They turn into mindless, aggressive zombies.
And he's stuck on a pole, he doesn't have his vials, the clock is ticking.
And the way he deals with it, man, it's just heartbreaking. He starts repeating this mantra.
Cooper Howard. Cooper Howard.
And he mentions his daughter.
That really stood out to me in the Collider recap. It's not just a memory trick, it's his anchor. He's trying to hold on to his humanity by remembering the last thing he really lived for.
He's a father first, monster second, which makes it so much more gruesome when he tries to pull himself off the spike and fails. It's this moment of total helplessness for a character who's usually the most capable person around.
Then so, salvation comes.
Well, if you can call it that.
A massive green hand just snaps the pole like a twig.
And here is where the internet just exploded, because this is not some generic CGI monster. This is a super mutant.
But the voice, if you know, you know.
Oh, absolutely. Screen Rant and Games Radar both flagged this immediately. The super mutant is voiced by
Ron Perlman.
And presumably motion captured by him too. Yeah.
Which is just legendary status for this franchise.
It's almost meta. I mean, Ron Perlman has been with Fallout since the very first game in 1997. He's the narrator who says the iconic line.
War never changes.
Exactly. So to have him step into the live-action universe as an actual character is this huge tip of the hat to the legacy fans. It bridges the game soul and the TV adaptation.
And functionally, in this story, this super mutant is fascinating. He doesn't eat Cooper. He heals him.
Using uranium.
Which sounds completely insane. Like, here, rub some radioactive rock on your open wound.
It sounds counterintuitive, but in Fallout, radiation is basically magic fuel for mutated beings. It regenerates them. But the more important thing here isn't the healing, it's the conversation. This mutant is intelligent.
He's not a brute, he's a recruiter.
Exactly. He offers Cooper an alliance. And he drops a name that will send chills down the spine of anyone who played Fallout 2 or 3.
The Enclave.
The Enclave.
Okay, let's pause on that. For someone who hasn't played the games, who or what exactly is the Enclave?
Think of them as the deep state on steroids. They claim to be the legal continuation of the US government, the president, top generals, the elite, who hid on oil rigs and in secret bunkers before the bombs fell.
And they see themselves as the only pure humans left.
Right. And everyone else, mutants, ghouls, regular wastelanders, is just trash that needs to be swept away.
So they're genocidal purists.
Pretty much. And the Super Mutant reveals that the Enclave actually created his kind and the ghouls as experiments or byproducts, and now they want to wipe them all out. He says a war is coming.
It totally redefines the stakes. Cooper isn't just hunting for his family anymore. He's being drafted into a species-level war. But he refuses. Right.
Classic cowboy. I work alone. He's still convinced he can handle this solo. But this sets the stage. The Enclave is the ultimate antagonist. They're hunting the impurities.
And that pivot to the Enclave transitions perfectly to the flashbacks. Because while they're hunting mutants in the present,
Right.
we find out they were pulling all the strings of the corporate world back in the past. We go back to Cooper and his wife, Barb.
And this is where the political intrigue gets really dark. We've always seen Barb as this high-powered executive at Vault-Tec. We assumed she was one of the people deciding the world's fate.
She was the girl boss of the apocalypse.
Right. But this episode introduces a bigger fish, Dr. Siggy Wilzig.
Wait, Wilzig? The scientist from season 1, the guy whose head Lucy was carrying around.
The very same, Michael Emerson. In the flashback, he's not a defector yet. He's an enforcer for the Enclave. And that elevator scene is terrifying. He just completely dresses Barb down.
He calls her a replaceable part.
It shatters the illusion of corporate power. We thought Vault-Tec was God, but Wilzig basically says, "You work for us." And there's a critical line here. Wilzig instructs Barb that the corporations have to be the ones to drop the bombs.
Why? If the Enclave is so powerful, why not do it themselves?
It's about guaranteeing the result. He phrases it as an absolute necessity. If the corporations do it, it ensures the total societal collapse the Enclave wants so they can rebuild. Vault-Tec thinks they're in charge, but they're just doing the Enclave's dirty work.
That makes Barb a much more tragic figure.
It does. Fangirlish had a great review on this. Barb isn't a villain by choice. She's trapped, squeezed by a shadow government on one side and her husband finding out the truth on the other.
And that pressure cooker leads to the scene with the briefcase. Cooper is trying to find proof. He drugs a young executive assistant to get his keys. And who is that assistant?
A young, very drunk Hank MacLean.
Our current big bad of the present day.
So Cooper opens Hank's briefcase, expecting to find the cold fusion technology, this infinite energy device.
And it's not there.
It is not. But Barb walks in, and instead of stopping Cooper, she helps him. She takes an injector from the case and jams it right into Hank's neck.
And this is the moment that just made me drop my notebook. The cold fusion tech wasn't in the briefcase.
It was
Inside his body.
the whole time.
So Hank MacLean, the overseer, the father, the corporate stooge, he's a walking battery.
He's a vessel. It completely recontextualizes season 1. Why was he kidnapped? Why is everyone chasing him? He's physically carrying the most valuable resource on the planet inside his neck.
Talk about job security. But this also explains Barb's actions. She helps Cooper. She hints that she wants to save their family her way.
She's playing a dangerous game. She knows the bombs are coming. She knows the Enclave is watching, but she's trying to find a third option. Did she succeed? Well, looking at the Wasteland, probably not.
It's messy. And that messiness bleeds right into the present with their daughter Lucy. Because if Barb was trapped by systems of control, Lucy is currently being crushed by them.
Oh, the scenes in the new Vegas Vault-Tec offices are some of the most unsettling television I've seen in a while.
It's the vibe, right? It's not a dungeon. It's clean, well lit. Everyone's polite.
It's the banality of evil. Lucy wakes up and her father, Hank, is acting like everything is normal. He's cooking dinner.
And he's reading, what was the book?
All Quiet on the Western Front.
Okay, hold on. That's a very specific choice. That's the seminal novel about how war is pointless and destroys people for no reason. Why is the villain reading that?
That is the key to understanding Hank. He doesn't think he's the villain. He believes humanity is inherently violent, that war never changes. So his logic is, if people will always destroy each other over nothing, the only way to have peace is to remove their ability to choose.
Control.
Total control. He shows Lucy the workers in the office. These are people who, on the surface, were murderers, raiders, gang leaders now, polite, efficient office drones.
Because they have brain implants.
Exactly. It's artificial peace through a brain-computer interface.
It's terrifying. But Hank challenges Lucy. He knows she's an idealist. She believes in the golden rule, so he sets up a test. He brings in 2 soldiers.
One from Caesar's Legion, basically Roman cosplayers who enslave people, and one from the New California Republic, the NCR, who are trying to rebuild democracy.
Sworn enemies.
They will kill each other on sight, and Lucy demands they be freed from the mind control. She says, let them choose.
And Hank says, okay. He turns off the chips.
And it's immediate violence.
Instant. The Legion guy grabs a stapler, an office stapler, and just starts stapling the NCR guy's head. It's visceral, it's bloody, it's just chaos.
And Lucy, poor Lucy, she has to make a choice. Watch them die, or
I'm the controller.
to save the NCR soldier's life, she has to hit the button. She has to reactivate the mind control.
She has to take away their free will to save them.
And that's the breaking point. It validates Hank's twisted philosophy in that one specific moment. He proves to her that safety sometimes requires tyranny.
It blurs the line so much. We want to say Hank is wrong, and obviously turning people into drones is wrong. But in that room, at that moment, freedom meant death.
Is the core question of Fallout. Is the chaos of freedom better than the safety of a cage? Lucy has always said yes. Now, she's not so sure.
And while Lucy's worldview is being shattered, things aren't much better back in the vaults. We have that little subplot brewing in Vault 33.
It's the classic pressure cooker situation. Resources are low. Overseer Betty, who we know is from Vault 31, the management vault, shuts down the snack budget for the inbreeding support group.
Which is just a hilarious sentence on its own.
Only in Fallout, but the reaction is telling. Reg, one of the dwellers, he just snaps. He shouts, "This is America," and eats Jell-O out of spite.
It's played for laughs, but the sources note this is significant. The vaults are built on obedience. This is America is a call to individual rights. The programming is breaking down.
And at the same time, we see signs that Vault 31 is tightening its grip. There's a wedding poster for Chet and Steph. Steph is another manager from 31. It feels like they're consolidating power.
So freedom is dying in the vaults. Lucy's debating the cost of freedom in Vegas. Meanwhile, on the surface, we have the best road trip ever. Maximus and Thaddeus.
The dynamic duo. They've ditched the power armor, which is smart because the Brotherhood of Steel can track those suits.
So now they're just 2 guys with a head.
And they don't know it's the cold fusion tech yet, they just know it's valuable. And this is where their characters split. Thaddeus is thinking short term, I want to get rich.
Classic Wasteland survivor.
But Maximus, he wants to give it to good people. Specifically, he wants to bring it to Lucy.
He's still thinking about her.
He is. It shows that despite his Brotherhood indoctrination, he's building his own moral compass, and it's guided by his connection to her.
And then the universe conspires to bring everyone together.
Yeah.
Dogmeat shows up.
CX-404, yeah.
Yeah.
And she's holding the Ghoul's hat.
Such a great visual. It just signals that these 3 storylines, the Ghoul, the Brotherhood boys, and Lucy, are about to crash into each other.
It's the convergence point for the finale.
Before we wrap up the narrative, we have to touch on the Easter eggs. This episode was packed, and Games Radar had a great list.
Oh, it was a love letter to the fans.
We mentioned Ron Perlman, but what about the music?
Uranium Fever. It plays during the Vault meeting. If you played Fallout 4, that song is just burned into your brain. Perfect thematic placement.
And there was a nod to Mr. House, right? The ruler of New Vegas.
Yes. In the corporate meeting, they show a device called the Automated Man. That's Robco Technology, House's company. But more importantly, the dialogue clarifies something fans have debated for years. House explicitly says he is not interested in dropping the bombs. He's preparing defenses.
So he's a narcissist, but he's not the apocalyptic arsonist.
Exactly. He wants to survive the fire, not start it.
And we saw Caesar's Legion, which confirms they're still around.
Which is huge for New Vegas fans. It confirms they're very much still active players in the region.
So looking at the big picture, what's the so what of this episode? We stripped away the layers, we found the Enclave, we found the battery in the neck.
I think it comes back to the illusion of agency. Think about it. Barb thought she was a powerful executive. Turns out she was a pawn for the Enclave. Hank thinks he's saving the world with mind control. Turns out he's just a vessel for a battery.
The Brotherhood thinks they're hoarding technology for the greater good. They're just bullies in metal suits. Everyone thinks they're the hero.
Right, and every single faction Enclave house, Hank believes the only way to save humanity is to control it, or enslave it, or purge it.
And the actual good guys, if you can call them that, are just the people trying to survive the saving.
Exactly. Lucy, Maximus, Cooper, they're fighting for the right to make their own mistakes. They're fighting for the messy, dangerous freedom that Hank hates.
And the Enclave is the ultimate embodiment of that control. the puppet masters who have been there since before the first bomb even fell.
It sets up a terrifying finale. It's not a fight for water or territory anymore. It's a fight for the soul of the species. Do we deserve free will if we just use it to staple each other's heads?
That is bleak. But that is Fallout.
It is.
I want to leave you with one final thought, something that really stuck with me from these discussions. We know Barb and Cooper were trying to stop the end of the world back then. And we know they failed because, well, look around.
Right. The bombs fell.
But here's the question. If the Enclave wanted to wipe the slate clean, if they wanted the apocalypse so they could rebuild a pure world, did they win? Or is the chaos we see now proof that even the ultimate controllers lost control?
That is the question.
And is Lucy heading down the exact same path her father walked? Is she realizing that eventually, to stop the chaos, you have to pick up the remote control?
I guess we'll find out.
Thanks for diving in with us. We'll see you in the Wasteland next time.